So just as a review right now, we've already gone through a couple of these guys, but recall that this is the form we're working in, right? It has an A, a B, an H, and a K. We know that the A value has to do with the step height, and the B value is not a direct correlation, but it has a relationship to the length of it. So you'll see on this first one here, I started by identifying from my memory aid whether A was positive and B was positive or whether it was negative or not. So I just take that from my memory aid from the first page of this booklet here. From there, I was able to determine the step height, the length, the value for B as the reciprocal of the length, and then chose, in this case, -2 and 3. So I chose that to be my vertex in this case, even though I could have chosen this guy or this guy here as well. Both are fine to use. So let's look at one in an example to start out. I'm going to start with this guy right here. So A length, B, H, and K. I'm going to find all these things so I can figure out what the actual rule of this guy is. Now, first off, I'm going to look at my memory aid and identify that from the diagram here, knowing that it's like open to closed and going upstairs, that in this case, A should be negative and B should be negative. So I can automatically go ahead and put those values in right now. Okay, A's got to be negative, B's got to be negative. Now we've just got to look at the height. Now pay attention on these cases to the actual units of measurements that are happening. So the height between these two things is actually 2. And the length of this step is actually 4. Meaning the reciprocal of that would be 1/4. And it's negative just because we've already determined that from the nature of the graph. Now I'm going to, at random, just choose one. I usually go, bottom left if I can, the first one I see there, and then have -2 and -4. So what would this rule be? F of x is equal to -2, -1/4x plus 2, because it's always the opposite, minus 4. Now I'd be able to use this rule for like a long answer word problem. But that's basically it in a nutshell. Know the units you're working with, identify what the length is, and always do that little bit of work first to figure out the A and B sign, and then know what to do with the length once you get it.